Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Athletico Madrid name their price for Kieran Trippier. Athletico Madrid will only sell Kieran Trippier if his 35 million release clause is met. Recently, Football Insider said Man United had an opening offer of 10 million rejected for Kieran Trippier. Kieran Trippier recently told his England teammates that he wants to join Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Man United have been in advanced talks with Athletico Madrid to sign Trippier. The player has been house hunting, so that's fueled speculation. Negotiations recently reignited. But the Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that we revived our interest in Kieran Trippier because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is unhappy with Wan-Bissaka's attacking output. Wan-Bissaka is the only recognised senior right back at Manchester United at the moment. We was in for Kieran Trippier in the January transfer window, but then obviously we cooled our interest because Trippier got banned by FIFA for 8 weeks for breaching betting rules. Everton have been interested in him, so too have Arsenal. There's been talks of a Kieran Trippier and Hector Bellerin swap deal. Kieran Trippier's current contract at Athletico Madrid expires next year. Athletico paid £20 million for him from Tottenham. He won the La Liga with Athletico Madrid last season. He's highly experienced. He is the age of 30. So yeah, before Athletico he was at Tottenham. He was actually quite good at Tottenham. He was part of the Tottenham team when Tottenham got to the Champions League final in 2019. That was obviously under Mauricio Pochettino's guidance. He's been at Burnley before. At one point, he had a loan spell at Burnley. He's had 2 loan spells at Barnsley before. And he began his career at Man City. He risen up their academy, but he never made an appearance in Man City's first team. Now, Man United are closing in on a deal for Jadon Sancho. Fabrizio Romano has said that Man United are working hard on the Jadon Sancho deal. All we need to do now is come to an agreement on a fee with Borussia Dortmund. You know, Man United do remain in negotiations with Dortmund over the sale of Sancho. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Man United reached an agreement with Jadon Sancho's camp. Man United have agreed the personal terms with Sancho and we've offered him a contract until 2026 worth around £350,000 a week. Yesterday, Manchester United had an opening offer of 67 million rejected for Jadon Sancho. I think another bid is incoming from Manchester United. Dortmund are demanding around £78 million plus add-ons. Borussia Dortmund have set the deadline for Sancho. They've said Jadon Sancho will remain at Borussia Dortmund if Man United have not reached Borussia Dortmund's valuation by the end of July. The Times reported out a few days ago saying that Man United are moving closer to reaching an agreement with Dortmund for Sancho. Jadon Sancho already has a gentleman's agreement with Dortmund to join Manchester United this summer. Sancho said the other week that he wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. Borussia Dortmund have been looking for replacements for Sancho. We've been in for Sancho now for like the last 2 years or so. So it has been a long-running transfer saga. I think this time around we're going to get Sancho. We should have got Jadon Sancho last summer. Because obviously last summer the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed and the contract had been agreed. But the reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. So last summer, Dortmund's asking price was the stumbling block. But obviously Dortmund have lowered their asking price from last summer. This is why I'm convinced we're going to get the deal done this time round. Dortmund set a deadline last year. They said we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very, very consistent. He's had a couple of bad periods. He's been at Borussia Dortmund for around 4 years now. Dortmund paid just 7 million, was it, for him from Man City back in 2017. He's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. But Sancho will be a great signing for Manchester United. He'll assure his goals. He's good at creating chances. He'll fit in our team perfectly. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United obviously need a right winger. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's still young, he's got a lot of development in him, and he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Sancho and Rashford know each other very, very well. So they are the reasons. Now it says if we fail to sign Sancho, we'll look at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich as an alternative. But yeah, if we don't sign Sancho in this summer transfer window, I think we could miss out on him forever. You know, who knows? At some point today, Sancho could officially be a Man United player. Very imperative that we get this deal over the line. You know the news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid? Mundo Deportivo said yesterday that Real Madrid have lowered their asking price for Rafael Varane to £43 million. That's a bargain. Man United recently tabled a contract offer for Varane. It's €12 million a year, which equates to just over 10 million in pounds sterling. Real Madrid cannot match these demands. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Varane is refusing a contract at Real Madrid. His contract talks at Real Madrid stalled a while ago. Varane's current contract at Real Madrid expires next year. I can assure he's leaving Real Madrid. At one point, Real Madrid were demanding 60 million for Varane, and not so long ago they rejected a £40 million bid. Varane spoke out on his future not so long ago. He said it's unlikely his future will be resolved for the summer's European Championships. Man United have held talks with Varane's representatives. And he said we may have been handed a boost in our pursuit of Varane, with Carlo Ancelotti making a return to Real Madrid. We went in for Varane 10 years ago under the Ferguson era. Woodward was also prepared to sanction a £100 million move for him back in 2018. Varane would be a great signing for Manchester United because he's regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced. Raphael Varane and Harry Maguire would complement each other very, very well. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League and he's got a great pedigree as a player. He's won 18 major honours at Real Madrid, so they are the reasons. Varane's been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's enjoyed 10 years with them, so he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Man United still want a centre-half despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract towards the end of last season. Christian Romero, he's been another centre-half we've been looking at. Reports were stemming out from Italy recently saying Man United were preparing a £39 million offer. This has been rejected by Atlanta because Atlanta are demanding around £52 million. Man United have been in advanced talks with Atlanta to sign Christian Romero. Atlanta hope to sign Christian Romero on a permanent deal worth around £21.5 million from Juventus. Christian Romero is on loan at Atlanta at the moment from Juventus. Solskjaer has promised Man United transfers in this summer transfer window. Just before the transfer window opened, Solskjaer said he wants to make around 4 signings in order for Man United to challenge for the Premier League title next season. And I'm convinced we can challenge for the title next season, providing that we recruit well in this summer transfer window. Yeah, the summer transfer window is open. It officially opened on the 9th of June. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this summer transfer window is for himself and Manchester United in general, because it's very imperative he gets the players he wants to recommend in. Solskjaer the other week got given a 150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. And our board have said that they will back Solskjaer with a new 3-year contract and summer signings despite the Europa League final loss. We're going to offload players in this summer transfer window, so in that aspect we'll generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. I've already gone through review the players that I think should leave. Next season is massive for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think next season Solskjaer has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. If we start next season badly, then I think the pressure will be on Solskjaer, then he probably will end up getting sacked. Next season is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager, because so far he's endured 2 full seasons and Solskjaer's been in charge of Man United for almost 30 months, which is over 2 years. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, which is 4 years ago. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer must win a trophy next season, because if he does, that will be an achievement. Now, obviously, there's been United fans demanding Ole out, especially reflecting on that Europa League final loss against Villarreal. There was United fans that were Ole out prior to the final though, but I presume there's still some Man United fans that are Ole in and they believe that he needs more time at the club. I think he does deserve next season, but I can assure he isn't the long-term manager for Man United, and I think a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer has just under a year left on his current 3-year contract that he signed when he got the job permanently back in March 2019, which was over 2 years ago now, and I think we are making a mistake giving him this new 3-year contract, because I can almost assure he won't see out this new deal. Like I said, I do have my concerns about Ole, but there's also quite a lot of positives regarding Ole as well. I didn't expect Solskjaer to do as well as he has done, so in that aspect I am shocked. You've got to say Solskjaer's done a good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager in 2018. He was inheriting Deadwood. He's still inheriting some Deadwood now. Last season, his second full season, he got us a second place finish, which isn't an achievement. Last season went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League, which is a record. Last season got us to the Europa League final. I know we didn't win it, but you still got to credit Solskjaer for getting us to the final. It was his first major final as Man United manager. Solskjaer last season got us to the FA Cup quarter final. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He did well in quite a few aspects in his first full season. Got us to 3 semi-finals and got us a third place finish. We are into the Champions League for next season, which is good news from Man United perspective. We've enjoyed very good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency, and in some of them good periods he's got the best out of the team. Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager so far. He's spent almost £300 million and he must have brought around, 12, 13 or 14 players in. He's got rid of a lot of the Deadwood since he's coming as well. And I like the way he has promoted the youth. So there you go. So Ole knew when he taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive, massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. The question is, if we do eventually decide to sack Solskjaer, who's going to come in to replace him? We need someone in with a proven pedigree and someone who would suit the strappings of our club. Before Man United, Solskjaer was at Molde, wasn't he? He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He enjoyed 2 spells at Molde, and before Molde he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting them relegated. The reason Solskjaer's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. Disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he would have been sacked by now. But I've got to say, Ollie is our best manager since Ferguson, even though I've been critical of him a lot during his tenure as Man United manager. But in the last 8 years or so, Manchester United have been playing catch-up. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. We sacked Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho. We've overpaid for players in recent years. In general, our recruitment's been poor. In that aspect, the blame stems from the board. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson retired. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. So that just indicates how inconsistent we was for a long time. And mistakes have been made for a while. And that's why we've been nowhere near as consistent as we'd like to have been. I think we've spent in total over £1 billion on players and that since Ferguson retired. And we've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. There is good players at Manchester United, and there's players that have improved. Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. You know, in a lot of these games, Cavani's hold-up play has been good. His movement in and around the box has been good. He's created good chances. He's scored very, very good goals. So there you go. But there's been some games where Cavani has been isolated because he hasn't been given enough service. I'm glad he's staying for next season because Romano said towards the end of last season that Cavani signed a 1-year contract. Mason Greenwood, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. You know, he's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of our club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a 4-year contract with Man United. He deserved a new contract reflecting on his good performances. Greenwood did go a long period though without scoring a goal. Sometimes we play Greenwood centrally, sometimes we play him on the right. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he's very, very good as well. In a lot of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. But there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. But let's be honest, we've overplayed Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes is our best player and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at Man United now for around, is it 16 or 17 months. Said, was it not so long ago, that Bruno Fernandes is set to sign a new contract worth around £200,000 a week. So reflecting on that, we're doubling his wages. Because Fernandes admitted he's been happy with the progress of Solskjaer's team. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025. There's an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. Fernandes has won Player of the Year once. He won it recently. And he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. We initially paid £47 million for Fernandes, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. And he predominantly plays as number 10. Marcus Rashford, he's good, but he's had his bad periods as Rashford. He was actually very poor towards the end of last season. Some people don't rate Marcus Rashford. He's become injury prone as well, Rashford, because he has now sustained quite a few injuries at Manchester United. We've got to keep Rashford on the left-hand side because that's where he's more effective. I don't like him on the right and I don't like him up top. He has performed well at times though up top, but I just prefer him on the left in general. Paul Pogba, aspects of his game have improved. We've been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. Paul Pogba does bring creativity to the team. In some games last season, we put Pogba in an advanced role. I think he's better in an advanced role than he is in a deeper role. I hope Pogba stays potentially past this summer. Sky Sports News said yesterday, like updated you on, Manchester United have opened talks with Paul Pogba's representatives over a new contract. But Paul Pogba insists that he's not in contract negotiations with Man United. Pogba's current contract expires next year because last season we triggered that 1 year extension on his contract. Recently said we fear losing Paul Pogba on a free transfer. We fear that he's running down his contract to leave on a 3. Solskjaer did say not so long ago though he hopes Paul Pogba stays and signs a new contract. Probably because Solskjaer is aware of how much of an imperative player he is. Towards the end of last season, it said that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a new £400,000 a week contract. But it says Pogba was demanding in the excess of £500,000 a week. But it actually said we'll sell Pogba if he doesn't sign a new contract. He said as well we could lose Pogba if Cristiano Ronaldo leaves Juventus. Because Juventus are interested in bringing Paul Pogba back from Man United. But in order to do that, they're going to have to sell Cristiano Ronaldo to afford him. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him and he's endured 5 seasons at Man United since he rejoined. Scott McTominay, I think he's a decent player. But he's not on that level where I want him to be at as yet. You know, question is, can McTominay emulate to that level? He certainly needs more time at the club. Just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United. Did McTominay. Luke Shaw, he's really improved. Luke Shaw was our best player last season. You know, in a lot of his games, Luke Shaw's, he showed very good attacking intent. He got into very good positions. He put good crosses into the box. Created good chances for his teammates, provided width, and defensively was superb. But towards the end of last season, he looked off the pace for like 3 games in a row. You know, Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club now for like 7 years as Luke Shaw. And he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last year. Eric Bailly, he's a very good centre half, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly is too injury prone. Probably made a mistake giving him that new contract towards the end of last season. Harry Maguire, I think aspects of his game have improved as well. But he was a big miss towards the end of last season. He had ligament damage in his ankle, did Maguire. He sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. And he's the second most expensive signing at the club, just behind Paul Pogba. And Wan-Bissaka, I think he's a good right back. Defensively, he's always been superb, but Wan-Bissaka's got to show more in the final third. But there was actually some games last season where he did show some good attacking intent. Wan-Bissaka has now enjoyed 2 full seasons at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. Wan-Bissaka is one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. And Dean Henderson, he's a good goalkeeper. He did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. We made the right decision putting Dean Henderson as number 1. So there you go. As you all know, Joe Glazer had a fans forum not so long ago. His first attendance in like 15 or 16 years. And he's promised to give the manager financial backing. Obviously, towards the end of last season, there was a lot of United fans protesting against the Glazers at Old Trafford. And obviously, we know Woodward standing down at the end of the year because it got announced earlier on this year that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.